Hello, everybody. This is Noel the Red Devil. We are here for the first of a few streams today covering the transfer deadline day. Erik is expected to do his press conference at 1:30, so we will listen in to what he has to say there. But as far as signings have gone so far, we have brought in that Turkish goalkeeper deal done. Sergio Reguilon's deal apparently is on the verge of being completed. Absolute disaster. United are shambles, by the way, and we'll get into it a little bit later. So I suppose for us as United fans now, we're waiting to see if we're going to get Amrabat. Apparently, Fulham last night came in with a 30 million pound deal for him. Now they have accepted the fee, but of course it's up to the player himself, and the player has rejected a couple of moves already this summer, because we all know that he wants to sign for United, and United, had made it clear in the early part of the window and indicated to the press that they were in for him. But apparently the latest is that we've ran out of money and we tried to get him on a loan deal, which apparently was rejected. And now they're trying to work it out. I think they want a loan deal with the option to buy. And I don't blame them. This player has been waiting all summer to come to United. It's an absolute shambles that we haven't gotten this over the line. Now, apparently, there might be a few outs, and that's what we're going to be looking out for. Apparently, Fulham are now interested in Scott McTominay. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Of course, I've got my eye on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. So, right. So I want to see. So there's this sport journalist, expert in transfer market. I don't know how credible he actually is, but he said an hour ago that Sofian Amrabat is one step away to Manchester United on loan with an option to buy. He will earn $4 million a year contract until 2028. And then this same person, hold on, is there something breaking on Sky Sports? We'll see. It says, deal done and confirmed. Sofian Amrabat to Manchester United from Fiorentina on loan with an option to buy, is what he's saying. So we'll see if there's a couple of outlets, but none of the. I'm going to check Fabrizio Romano, because our Dave Ornstein, they're the two most credible journalists. A lot of United fan channels will tell you. So it's official, folks. It's official. Fabrizio Romano 4 minutes ago. Sofian Amrabat to Manchester United. Here we go. Agreement in place. More to follow. So Manchester United have done what a lot of people expected them to do, to bring in this signing along with the goalkeeper and Reguilon. And apparently as well, it's being reported by some journalists that Manchester United are actually pretty happy with that transfer business. You must be living on cloud nine. If you're happy with that transfer business, then I'm baffled here. So it looks like on deadline day, we're going to get Amrabat over the line. It looks like Reguilon is going to be joining Manchester United as well. Tottenham reject. And we've brought in that young Turkish goalkeeper, which makes no sense when you could have kept David De Gea. Like, I just don't care. I don't care what people say about David De Gea. But you could have kept Onana and made it clear to David De Gea that, look, this is what's happening, mate. You've got to fight for your place. You know, Onana is going to be number one. If you're willing to stay here and be number two, you're more than welcome to stay. And we could have spent that money somewhere else. I mean, it's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. By the way, just to let you know, Brighton have signed Fatty on loan from Barcelona, a winger that I actually believed we should have went for. And we were linked 2 years ago. We should have got that kid, right? He has a lot of potential, but oh, man. Anyway, the press conference for Erik ten Hag will be coming up, and obviously we'll get some comments and quotes from him. But we will be concentrating on the transfer window today, and then of course we do have that big game against Arsenal coming up, and we will be live for that. So come and join me for that. But this is absolutely. I mean, how can United honestly say that this is a good transfer window? I mean, a lot of fans have said, why did we sign Mason Mount, right? Now, the Mason Mount signing would have made sense if we had bought other midfield players and then we had cover, right? Now, we're bringing in Amrabat, but in reality, let's be honest, we needed a CDM and a CM, right? That's what we needed, right? At least, right? Just to bolster that midfield up a little bit. And we're pricking around. Meanwhile, Liverpool have rejected 150 million for Mo Salah from Saudi Arabia. There's Erik ten Hag now. Let's see. Right, so the manager has just said that if they can get some players in by the end of the transfer deadline day, they may feature in the squad on Sunday. And that just goes to show you how desperate we are right now as a club. I mean, we all know that the Glazers can give the manager another 100 million by enacting that bank loan. But because they're selling the club, they won't do it, which makes absolutely no sense from a business point of view. Because if you're a businessman, you're trying to sell an asset, you want the asset to be as attractive as possible for potential buyers, yeah? So why they haven't given the manager this extra 100 million so he can go out and buy 2 decent fucking midfielders and a centre-back, right? Because at this stage now, at this end of the window, you know, options are going to be pretty fucking limited because, you know, you'd have to pay big fees if you want to get prize these players away from their clubs now at this fucking stage. So the best option for United is to just go for loan deals, and it's absolutely disgraceful. I mean, this I can't even blame our manager. You know, it's the people around them. They're just not good enough to run this club. And I guarantee you, he had a list of players that he wanted, right? Even with the budget that he knew he had, right? And I guarantee he hasn't gotten them, right? He speaks a lot and saying he's getting the players that he wants. But last year he wanted players like Frankie de Jong. There's no way he could be telling me that he's changed now his priorities and wants these sort of players. He's only bringing them in because he has a limited budget. Some of them he knows, and some of them he knows will work hard for the team. And he's trying to make us harder to beat, I suppose. But it's absolutely disgraceful, it is. I'm sick of the way this club is being run. And it's always the same when we get into the Champions League. They just don't seem to bother. You back the manager the second season. Like, you give him the funds so he can go out and strengthen the squad properly. And then on top of that, you've seen it, already we've got a load of injuries. Right, so we're already screwed. We've lost Luke Shaw for at least 3 months. Malacia, obviously, he will be back soon, but he won't be back soon enough. Right, we've got a striker that's coming back from injury that everybody is dependent on. Right, now I thought Casemiro looked great the last year, and he did in the comeback. Casemiro's a slow burner. I said this at the start of the season when people were criticising him. He's a slow burner and always has been. So it always takes him a few games to get warmed up, and I think he's getting the pace now. Even Eriksen looked a little bit fresher. I couldn't believe how fresh Eriksen actually looked, but you can't be dependent on him for 90 minutes every game. And this is why it was important for the manager to be backed to bring in more midfield players. At least then, you bring someone in that's better than Eriksen, right? And then Eriksen becomes a bench player. He comes on then when we're winning, when we kill games off early. As the manager has always said, we want to be killing games off early so we can make those substitutes, so we can rest the Varans and the Casemiros and make sure they don't pick up injuries. But these owners are just absolute bloody clowns. So there you go. Man United, it's breaking news on Sky. Man United agreed deal to sign Sofri Amrabat on loan. So there you go. We're getting them. But again, media, club has already informed some of the media out there. Some of the media journalists are writing it, saying that they're happy with the transfer window. I don't know how you could be happy with this transfer window. It's an absolute fucking joke. Well, we're going after a left back. Fair enough, it's only on loan, right? But we're going after a left back from Tottenham that can't even get into the Tottenham team now. It's a fucking shambles. We should be going for a centre back anyway, right? I know I don't like the low, but I'd make do. As most fans have said, I'd make do with him. Right, you could have brought in a fucking centre back. I mean, this guy, Johnny Evans, I knew it. I said it early in the transfer window when we signed him on the short-term deal pre-season. I said it. We are going to offer Johnny Evans a contract. I said it. I even then, when I was in the chat in another channel, the She Devils, I said it in there. I says, I guarantee it, we're going to give him a deal. And that's exactly what's happened. So remember, Johnny Evans is part of this so-called transfer window. So they stick him with Johnny Evans. Oh, man. No disrespect to Johnny Evans. He had his time at United, right? And, he gave everything when he put that jersey on. And no doubt, he would give everything even now, right? But the bottom line is he's 36, 37 years of age. I mean, this is ridiculous. We do it with strikers all the time as well. Do you remember we go for all these old strikers? Now, don't get me wrong, I love Zlatan. And, that deal. And, I mean, he scored some goals for us. But in reality, you know what I mean? We shouldn't have been going for Zlatan or Falcao or Igalo all of these players, these strikers that we went for, Weghorst and all this. I mean, at least get someone half decent in. Obviously, Zlatan did the business with United. I'm never going to slag him. He's a legend as far as I'm concerned. Look, not a United legend, but a legend of the game, because he was not United long enough to become a legend, in my opinion. But he gave everything for United, and he should have been sent off a few times with some of the stuff that he did on the pitch. But that's the kind of aggressive nature that we needed in that team at the time. And Zlatan fit the bill. And he did score some great goals for us. So, you know, but we shouldn't be going for players like that. It's absolutely ridiculous what these owners have done. I mean, a loan deal. This player, though, has been waiting all summer for us, right? And you know what? I'm going to say fair play to Fiorentina here, right? Because they've been offered money straight away for this player, right? Now, they've had an understanding with the player. They know the player's always wanted to go to Manchester United. So even though they've been accepting these offers, they know deep down that unless the player agrees to go there, he's not going anywhere. But you have to say fair play to them, because we fucked around with this player and fucked around with them all bloody summer long, right? Thinking that they were going to buy him straight out, and they've agreed to a loan deal with the option to buy. Yeah, you have to give it to the Italian club. They've been very fucking understanding in this situation, but our owners are an absolute disgrace. It fucking upsets me, man. The Nottingham Forest game, I was in tears watching that game. Obviously, we came back in the end and I had a happy ending. But that was Nottingham Forest. That was Nottingham Forest. And no disrespect to Nottingham Forest. They're a great club with a fucking rich history. Right? Nobody can deny that. But they're not at the level that we were back in the day. And we should be fucking hammering Nottingham Forest. Right? It was an absolute shambles. Look, the first goal I'll still maintain was a freak goal. And I know fans blame Rashford for it. Maybe he could have put a bit more effort into the tackle. But the thing that I liked about Rashford is that he actually did track the man all the way back, and he did get the foot to the ball as your man kicked it. So he did make the effort to track back. This is what, you know what I mean? Maybe he was wary that he might get a red card if he gets it wrong. But in that position, though, you know, if that was United of old, you know, they take that risk. And that's the thing. You need to take the risks. You know, yes, there might be a chance you get sent off, but you've stopped them from fucking scoring a goal and getting momentum in the game. Yet we'll be down to 10 men, but United, their quality on the pitch should tell. I'm just utterly disgusted. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad we're getting Amrabat. You know, we've been linked to him all summer. He's not a player that I think we should be going for, to be quite honest, because he's not the caliber player we need as a club to elevate ourselves even higher. But you know what? He'll come in, he'll do the job that he's been asked to do, and, you know, we'll back him because he's wanted to come to this club from day one. And you know what? As United fans at this stage, that's what we want from players now. Because we've gotten a lot of players that have come here just because it's Manchester United, not because they've wanted to come here, right? So he's wanted to come here from day one as soon as we were linked to him and we had a little talk with him, right? So, you know, I'm glad he's coming for that reason, because it would have been, look at, the club would have tried to spin this, and they already did, by the way. Right, last week they were spinning out. Oh no, it's his camp that's actually coming out and saying, you know, all of this, but it's not really true. right? Because they were setting up just in case this deal went pear-shaped, right? So be under no illusion. These owners are absolutely disgusting. Now, our young striker is available to face Arsenal. He is fit. Will he get it? Will he start from the beginning? I don't think so, because our manager likes to ease them in. But I hope he does, because Rashford needs to be playing on the left. It's as simple as that. Look, Rashford is useless through the middle, and you may as well be playing with 10 men. It's as simple as that. So pull him on from the beginning. And I know there's a lot of pressure on him, and it's a big game to come into. But if he has the mentality that all of these fans have been banging on about and saying, oh no, he's a great player, he's got the mentality, he'll do well at United. Well, we'll see, because the Arsenal game is a baptism of fire, right? You're going to the Emirates, right? Your first game away from home, right? He's not even playing at home first. His first game will be away from home. The pressure is going to be huge. And here's the thing, and I'll say this, should we be putting the pressure on this kid? No. In reality, we should have had him as a backup to maybe a Harry Kane or another striker. Now, apparently United are trying to find a striker, try bring in someone, a loan deal, right? So we'll see if that happens. But I doubt it. But it does need to happen. We do need another striker, because I don't want Rashford. Look, there's no point playing Rashford through the middle. It's just not going to work. And he looks, listen, his confidence looks shot to me already, man. And it's only because he's had to play through the middle. He doesn't like playing there, right? And I think he's happiest when he did. When he went out on the left, he caused a few problems. A lot of people are worried about Rashford. Listen, again, Rashford is a slow burner. Remember last season, right? He knocked in 1 or 2 goals, but people were saying, he's not going to be consistent. And then he ended up being consistent. So just have a little bit of patience with Rashford for now. You know, he's being played out of position, like some of the players in the squad have been played out of position. I get that Erik ten Hag wants players that can adapt, but the thing about it is that they're best in the positions that they thrive in, and this is why you should be going after multiple players and multiple midfielders in the window. But they don't think that way, or strikers. So we do agree a deal for Amrabat on loan with the option to buy. So we've got in that Turkish goalkeeper, and he's done an interview today. We've got Amrabat, and we're apparently on Reguilon, apparently from Spurs, is going to be coming to United as well. Now, if that's our transfer deadline day business, if that's it, we've brought in Onana, Mason Mount, Amrabat, the young Turkish goalkeeper whose name I can't pronounce, and Reguilon. Can you honestly say that those signings are going to get us closer to challenging? We're in for a look at, I think, Manchester United, unless a miracle happens near the end. But I mean, there you go. Manchester City have signed Matheus Nunes from Wolves for a 53 million deal. Right? So they're the type of deals that City is doing. Right? It's shocking. Do you know what can you say? You know what I mean? This is what, you know, I just don't get our owners, man. You know, you make the asset more attractive. Enact that bank fucking loan, right? You got a couple of you've got 9 hours. You could still get a fucking decent player over the line. Give the fucking manager the money and let him go out and buy a fucking a couple of midfielders. You'll get 2 decent midfielders for that. Hell, I mean, I don't understand why they're crippling their manager. It happens every manager, though. It happens every manager. Right? 4th season, they back a manager. This is why we have so much deadwood, right? And we end up with so much deadwood, right? They back the manager the 4th season, right? Because they're not in the Champions League. They get into the Champions League and then they decide, oh, we're tightening up our belts. But you've gotten into the champion, you've got that extra revenue. And you won't dip your hands in your pocket. And you know what? Here's the thing as well I found out. Right? Apparently, the financial fair play rules don't come into effect if the Glazers actually stuck their hands in their own pockets and went out and did deals. It wouldn't affect us because it's coming out of their own fucking money. But they don't do that. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, Aston Villa, Clement Longley has gone there for a season-long loan from Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona are in disarray and they've got to loan off some players to bring players in because they're that bad. Fatty and all's gone out on loan. He's gone to Brighton. I mean, think about it. No club has come in to buy our players at the price that they should be sold for. Right? We're just horrible at selling players. And as well, right, the Saudi League is buying up a lot of players. Have you noticed? Have you noticed that nobody is looking at United players? There's been rumours that obviously Anthony Martial might be going there, but that's gone completely dead. But that should open everybody's eyes. Even the Saudi League don't want their players. Right? Now, we were offered money for Scott McTominay and we rejected it. Harry Maguire refused to go to West Ham. So, the club have shot themselves in the foot. And remember as well, right, and it is fair to aim it this way, but Harry Maguire refusing to go to West Ham when we were offered the money for him, when he was given a decent contract and was going to be made captain and he didn't want to go because he wanted the payoff. Remember, the money we would have got for Harry Maguire, though, would have been used to bring in someone, right? So, when Harry Maguire goes and puts out a statement about being a United player and it was a pleasure and all of that, I don't give 2 flying fucks. It was like everybody and the hypocrites in the fandom, by the way, and these are hypocrites. These are all wishing Dean Henderson good luck. Why is wishing that snake good luck? Do you know what my response to him was? Yeah, you won't be missed, good riddance, because I'll never forgive that interview. Right? Good riddance to the piece of shit. He went off to Nottingham Forest, did an interview and slated their fucking club, and yous are all going into the comment section and wishing him the best of luck. I mean, have you got your head screwed on right? Why is wishing that piece of shit good luck for? Just like when Pogba left. Oh, wish him good luck. That rat? What you wishing him good luck for? Lukaku was the same. Will you all stop embarrassing yourselves? Right? These players deserve absolutely no respect because they didn't respect us as fans or respect the club. Wishing him the best of luck. See Donny van der Beek, if he does leave, I'll wish him the best of luck. Because he's never slated the fucking club. He's behaved and conducted himself in the right fucking manner. He mightn't be at the level that we would all like him to be at, but we know that he's not going to do anything to disrespect this club. You can tell that even though he doesn't stay fit, right? Even though he can't stay fit, but when he does play, it is an honour for him to put that jersey on, right? So we'll wish him the best of luck because he didn't shit on us, just like we wished Fred the best of luck, right? Because Fred didn't shit the club or badmouth the club, right? I was actually kind of sad to see Fred go, but at the end of the day, it was time to move on because apparently we had ambition. Look what we're doing in the transfer window. We don't have any ambition at all. These owners just don't. They're glad that they're in the Champions League now, you know, and they want, like with every manager, to work miracles now. And maybe Ten Hag is the man that can work miracles. I mean, we've had average Manchester United teams under Sir Alex Ferguson, and he's done well with them. Maybe this manager can do the same, and miracles can fucking happen. But that's exactly what it would be, a fucking miracle. Because if you look at that team right now, I fear for us the weekend. We are getting absolutely hammered by Arsenal, and we beat them pre-season and beat them very comfortably. And I thought, do you know what? When the Arsenal game comes around, I won't be as worried. But we've seen what's happened since. I am dreading that game, right? And we could be looking at another embarrassing scoreline, folks, right? And prepare yourselves just in case that happens. But by some fucking miracle, it clicks on Sunday and we beat them. And if we can use that momentum then to kick on with our fucking season, bring it on. But again, this is all a pipe dream under these fucking owners. I will never forgive them. I will never forgive the backstabber players. And this is why, listen, Cristiano Ronaldo will always be a legend, right? But what he did, that interview, as far as I'm concerned, unfucking forgivable. Unfucking forgivable. And for all you Ronaldo fans out there that keep saying, well, he exposed the Glazers. No, he didn't do fuck all, right? Open your fucking eyes. We all knew the problems at Manchester United before Ronaldo went and did that interview. Every single fan knew how bad everything was. But Ronaldo comes out and says he's some sort of fucking God's gift. Oh, Ronaldo. Right? He should have kept his mouth shut. If he wasn't happy at United, right, should have moved on the right way, not the wrong way. And he did do it the wrong way, right? And I'm not saying that this club was absolutely perfect in the treatment of Ronaldo, because they weren't, because the Glazers are fucking classless, right? They have no class. They treat all of our former players with fucking disrespect. We know that, right? But he should have done what every other fucking player has done before him. You keep your mouth fucking shut. We know the problems with the club, right? The fans have been protesting since the Glazers took fucking over, right? We know all the problems with the club, right? So we didn't need Ronaldo to tell us, because we already knew. So Ronaldo told us fucking nothing new, but yet he's held up on this pedestal because apparently he exposed the Glazers. No, he didn't. We knew already, right? And people, we get Piers Morgan banging on about, well, Erik Ten Hag should be sacked, getting rid of Cristiano Ronaldo. Listen for a minute, right? I've been watching Cristiano in the Saudi League, okay? And yes, he bangs in goals, but you should see the chances that he actually misses, right? He's past it, right? He is actually past it. I've been watching Messi tearing up in the LMS, right? I've been watching it, right? I'm watching Inter Miami because I'm fucking intrigued by the whole thing. They won the last 9 games since he's been there. Obviously, they drew the last game just gone against the team that they beat in the Cups final or whatever they fucking call it over there. Some mad fucking cup thing that goes on forever. But they won it, right? And it's been intriguing watching it. But he still has it. He could go back into Europe again, he could. But Ronaldo couldn't, right? So Erik ten Hag was right to get rid of him. And you disrespect the manager and the club and your teammates. Remember Garnacho scored in that goal against Aston Villa. That prick went, he left, right? He wasn't the only one, of course. Delot left and a couple of other players left. But because he left, the rest of them fucking left, right? So don't be giving me this shite, right? No, right? Ronaldo did a lot of good when he was here. But at the end of the fucking day, we were right to get rid of him. We were absolutely right. And the manager was absolutely fucking right to get rid of him. Absolutely spot on, right? And the manager showed fucking courage there. Because no player, and we keep saying this to you, newer fans, right? Because you just don't get it. No player is bigger than this fucking club. No player, right? And Alex Ferguson has proven that over the years. Players we got rid of that fans were like, is he crazy? But he got rid of them. Once you crossed Ferguson, that was it. You were gone. And this is what what kind of annoys me with our fandom. That's what they've been wanting from a manager for a long time. We finally get it. We finally get that manager, and then he gets rid of Ronaldo, and then they're all crying. So what do you want them to do? Let Ronaldo walk all over him, disrespect his teammates, steal the thunder off a young kid who idolizes him, scores a last-minute winning fucking goal against Aston Villa. It should be about fucking Garnacho, but all the talk was about Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo. I love what he did for United, right? But he crossed the fucking line. He crossed the fucking line, right? And the Roy Keane thing as well, right? Some will say he crossed the line. I love Roy Keane. Maybe there's a lot of shit going on with Roy Keane, but Roy Keane did cross the line a couple of times. But the manager again was ruthless and decided that he was going to get rid of him, rightly or wrongly. He did. He got rid of Beckham. He got rid of Jaap Stam. He got rid of Van Nistelrooy. I mean, the list goes fucking on. No player is bigger than that fucking badge. Right? And I don't care how many trophies Ronaldo has won. Right? Nobody is bigger than that. I love the man. I love what he's done in the game. I have the utmost respect for him as a professional. And look, I will add a caveat. I know Cristiano was going through a rough patch, right? Because obviously, him and his missus had lost a baby, right? I get that. And maybe he wasn't in the right frame of mind. But I just want to say, let's not forget that Piers Morgan is a disgusting scumbag that actually exploited all of that. And every time United do bad, he always keeps using Cristiano Ronaldo as a stick to bash us with. People should be calling out that scumbag. So I hope, beyond hope, we can beat Arsenal just to shut him up. Because, he gives Arsenal fans a bad name. Some Arsenal fans that I know are decent. They're not over the top. They know their football. They don't talk out of their arses. They know their football. But this man, that Piers Morgan fella, I mean, he's obsessed with us. I just don't know what to say anymore. But this transfer window's depressed me. And you know what? We actually got very excited at the start because, we thought it was going to be decent this time round. But again, the Glazers, as I said, second season, they never backed the manager. And what will happen? What will happen if they do stay, by the way? What will happen? We know what will happen. The manager will be the one that will be sacked. Right? Then they'll bring in a new manager. And that manager will want his own players, then they'll go out and back him, right? He'll get his players, get back into the top four, second season, history repeats itself, right? They've done it with every manager. Absolutely disgraceful. You know, I mean, we could say we're a big club, and we are in name only, but they have made us a small club. I mean, we've got the mentality of a small club. The people have to face reality now. This is not a serious club anymore, and it's fucking heartbreaking. I'm supporting this team over 40 years, right? I was a young kid when I got my first United jersey. I've been hooked ever since. Ron Atkinson was my first manager as a fan. It was near the end of his reign, though, so I wasn't old enough at the time, but at the end of his reign, I was obviously a United fan. And I've seen the progression and the elevation of our team to one of the greatest teams in the world. And to see what we've become, you know, the older fans don't really talk about it. You know, we try to put on a front, but this is heartbreaking. This is absolutely fucking gut-wrenching. These Glazers have no respect for our history, right? These are the same owners that were going to allow Mason Greenwood to come back. Manchester United are known as a club, morals, doing the right thing. They even put that, our reputation on the line, right? Also, on top of that, they tried to get us into a Super League, right? They have dragged their club's name through the mud. And for us, all their fans, this is heartbreaking. This is absolutely disgusting. They talk about they understand the history of this club. They don't understand the history of this club. You don't know what defined this club, right? You might say you do and say you understand the tragic history of our club and the defining moments of our club, but you don't. And you never will. And you know, you announced last November that you were selling this club. And for a brief second, we had hope. And this is what I hate about these owners. They gave us a little bit of hope that they were gone. And it's now the 1st of September. And they're still here. Because apparently they haven't gotten what they want. It's just so sad. And we're in for a long, hard season. And it's going to be heartbreaking to watch. The downfall of Manchester United happened the day they took over. What can you do? All we can do is just support the lads and hope that they can do us proud and the manager can. But how can you when the manager's hands are being tied behind his back and he's not being given the tools? I mean, everybody goes in on these players, and rightly so sometimes, because some of them don't put in the effort, and we just wish that they did. Because, you know, if they gave it 100% every fucking game, all of the focus would be on these owners. It's their fault. But because the players do sometimes are inconsistent, they do get it as well. But all the focus should be on these owners. They're the ones that got us in the position in the first place and signed most of these players. They didn't get the manager's first choices. Remember that they've never gotten the manager's first choices. It's just absolutely awful. You know, you give our manager the best chance for his second season, and they've done the same thing again. And Erik Tan, this is the thing I fear, is they'll sack him. And I know some fans have questioned Erik Ten Hag. It's the start of the fucking season, man. Yes, he has made, and last season we were questioning some of these substitutes and some of the decisions he made, but he was learning. And of course, he's still learning. People expect him to get everything right in the second season. He's not if he's not getting the tools and he's not getting the players, the exact players that he needs to do what he needs to do. Remember, people are saying, where's this Erik Ten Hag ball? Well, how can you play Erik Ten Hag ball and play the way he wants to play if he's not getting the players that actually suit his system or the level of player that he wants, and he has to go for second, third, or maybe fourth fucking choice? I don't blame him for that. I blame him for some of the tactical decisions that he makes during games, as a lot of fans do, and substitutions we might agree with. But when it comes to the personnel, he gave them look, like every manager we hear, he gave them a list. No point of giving the Glazers a list. There is no point. Because they'll tell you, yeah, well, Frankie de Jong, no, we won't get you Frankie de Jong, but we can get you maybe this player. Well, can we get this player? No, it's still too expensive. Let's go for this. And that's the way it's done. I mean, we're going to struggle to get into the top four. And it's unbelievable. But what can you do? We just got to support the lads, and we got to support the manager more than ever. And I just hope fans do that, because right now that's what we actually need. Because these owners don't care, folks. They actually don't care. They don't. And we've got to back them now, 100%. We've got to stick with them, because if the fans turn against this team and the manager, we're done for. So don't do what you did with other managers, please. Back Erik Ten Hag. Back the players. Yes, criticise when they don't put the effort in, as you always do, but don't go over the top about it either. We need to be backing these players. We can't be knocking these players' confidence anymore. Social media, in fairness, I think players should stay off social media, then they wouldn't have the issue of being affected by social media. But unfortunately, that's the modern game. So I just hope fans are go a little bit easier on the players and the manager. Of course, as I said, criticise when necessary if they get it wrong, if the manager gets it wrong and these players don't put the effort in. But as I said, there's a way of doing it. Right? There's certain channels out there that, the big one, that go overboard with their criticism, in my opinion. And it does put a lot of heat on a lot of our players, and I think it is unfair. So let's see what happens. But I'm going to go now, because I'm going to prep dinner. But I will be back after it. I plan on doing a few more streams here today. So this is the first one. I will have a second one coming up in the next hour and a half. And then we will be back then at we'll be back at what did I say, 10:30 to do the last bit of transfer news before we finish up for the night. And then, of course, we'll be back for the Arsenal game. But Fabrizio there, I think it's just put up a YouTube video, so it will be in relation to Amrabat, I'm pretty sure. So let's just, yes, See, he's been waiting for Manchester United since the end of June. He rejected Saudi, he rejected Fulham in recent days, and he only wanted Manchester United. And that's the type of player that we want. That, at this stage, if we're not going to get a world-class player, well, let's at least bring in players that want to be here. But again, if and when we get taken over by new owners, I mean, they're going to be paying off a lot of fucking contracts because we're not going to be shifting any players. So, there will be a big rebuild under our new owners, but that will depend how they do it. Will they do it like the Newcastle owners and do it nice and steady, or will we go in and do it Chelsea and buy all of these bleeding players left, right, and centre? I would like us to kind of, be reasonable and sensible when we're under new owners with our transfer business. I don't, you bring in too many players like Nottingham Forest did, and I know it's Nottingham Forest, but look at the amount of players they brought in the very first season back in the Premier League, how long it took them to adapt, and then eventually they survived, but it took them a long time to become an actual team. So, Newcastle, fans were probably expecting a lot more signings to come in and stuff like that. But I think Newcastle have kind of done it right, nice and easy, progress every year. And I think they look the part now, I have to say, with that midfield that they have. So they're going to be a threat to us this year as well. And, they're the new kids on the block in the Champions League. The group that they're after getting is unbelievable. But that's what I mean. We've got teams that are coming up behind us, and I don't think we have enough to defend them off. Before transfers start coming in, and I've seen who we were linked to, I said if we get these certain players, I actually expect us to challenge for the league. That's how fucking deluded I was, I suppose. But now, looking at what we've done, I have to be honest, put my football cap on instead of my Man United cap. But we're gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle to get top four unless this kid bangs in the goals. Rashford starts hitting form. Anthony then steps it up. Our midfield start dominating. But it's a lot if buts and maybes, isn't it? So we'll just have to wait and see. So I will be back in an hour and a half. We'll see what further updates there are on the transfer deadline day window. And then we will be back then before the transfer window closes at 11 p.m. Tonight. So come and join me for that one as well. I'll put those streams up in a while, folks, so look out for them. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment as well. Let me know what you guys think of our transfer business. Of course, there's still a few more hours for United to surprise everybody and do something, but I doubt it. Let's be honest, I think that's all we're going to bring in. I think Sergio Reguilon will be the last signing that we actually make this window. But let's hope I'm wrong about that. But we'll come back. We'll see in an hour and a half if anything's changed. So thank you for joining me for now. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of Manchester United's transfer business. Are you happy with it? If you're not happy with it, let me know. Also, rate it out of 10. So 10 being great transfer window, 1 being absolutely awful. So what would you rate it out of 10? Let me know as well. What's this? Rubbish. Something's at the jumping up about Sheikh Jazim. All right, it was 2 days ago, so it's bullshit. Okay. Apparently, Sheikh Jassim was buying the club for 7.5 billion. Bullshit. Not even happening. It's clickbait. When the deal is done, it's done, folks. I'm not even getting. Look, people fall for these things all the time. At this rate, folks, there's no point of getting yourselves upset. You know, these Glazers have already proved that they're not going to leave until they're ready to leave. So we just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, I will be back later on. Leave a like. Don't forget to like the stream. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think of our transfer business so far. What would you rate it out of 10? Do you think the transfer window is a great one? Was it a poor one? Let me know. We will be back a little bit later on. I'm off to cook some dinner, and then we will be back then after that. So come and join me. We've plenty to talk about when we come back. And obviously, Erik ten Hag's press conference, it featured here, but we didn't see the whole press conference. So what I'll do is when we come back, then we'll hear what our manager had to say, and we'll give our opinion on it as well. So come and join me. We'll see when we come back, have we got other deals over the line? But so far as I'm concerned, this transfer window has been an absolute shambles. And, you know, it's time for Richard Arnold and John Murtough and all of those other guys to stand down ASAP. And to the Glazer family, you know, do the fans a favour now and just go, please. Do you know what? I did say this, right? And you can go back and check it, right? Because I did a stream on this, and you can go back and check it. And I said at the time, when I did me stream on Sheikh Jassim and this takeover, right? I says, do not be surprised. And you can go back and check this. I'm not messing. I said, do not be surprised if the Glazers sell after the transfer window is closed. Now, you might ask yourself, why would they do that? Well, it's another FU to the fans before they leave, because the fans wanted them to go. Now, you can check. It's one of the very first videos I did on this channel. And I said it then. Do not be surprised if they sell this club after the transfer window was closed. And I wouldn't be surprised. Right? But I also did say, if they don't do that, then they'll wait until the summer. And that's exactly what could happen. They'll probably wait and see if they get any more bids. But if they're hoping for United to have a great season this season, and this is where they're going to screw up, in my opinion, because I don't think we're going to do well this season. And then the valuation that they're looking for the club, it's not going to be worth what it is worth now to them, right? People will refuse to pay what they want because they know they're being ripped off. Because if United fall out of the Champions League and end up in the Europa or the Conference, right, the club's shares are going to drop anyway. So the club is going to be worth less to them. So if they're smart before the season completely fucks up, they should sell right now. But I'm telling you now, wait till you see. It'll either happen when the window closes to be an announcement in a week or two, or they'll wait till summer, hoping that they get other bidders. But by the time that happens, then we probably had an absolute shambles of a season, got knocked out of the Champions League in the group stages, didn't defend the League Cup, got knocked out of the FA Cup, and then didn't finish in the top 4 of the Premier League. And that's a possibility, folks. And that is a possibility. Right? And right now, if you're a Manchester United fan, you know, you should be worried. And you should be. But what I'd say is just get behind the manager and the players, because they're going to need us more than ever. Right? They're going to need us more than ever. Right? We've got to be there, shoulder to shoulder with those players. When they give everything, obviously, yes. Obviously, if they get things wrong, they're not putting in the effort. We will criticise as we always do. But what I say is let's not go over the top about it. Because until the Glazers are gone, none of these issues that we actually have with our squad are going to be sorted. The fact that we're inconsistent, the fact that we have a shit away record, none of that gets fixed until the manager gets exactly what he wants. But when a manager is not getting exactly what he wants, you're basically trying to put in. They're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. So that's the situation that we're at. Anyway, we'll be back later on. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, you never know. Miracles do happen, but under these owners, fucking miracles. Yeah, we'll see what we get. I reckon Reguilón is going to be the last signing that we make, and that's another loan. So 2 loan deals. Desperate United yet again. Absolute shambles from our owners as usual. And this is why, I don't think people should be too critical on the manager. Yes, when he gets it tactically wrong on the pitch and he's not doing what he should as a manager, yes, we should definitely give our criticism. Same with the players. But remember, we're only in this state because of the owners that we have. Okay? All last summer, just before I leave, all last summer, we were chasing Frankie de Jong. We knew that Frankie de Jong was Erik ten Hag's first choice signing. He was. He was his first choice signing. And we chased him all summer and embarrassed ourselves. And they've done it to us again. So get behind the manager, folks. Get behind the players. When they fuck up, of course, we give the criticism, but please don't be overboard and call for the manager's head. Because I honestly, firmly believe that when he does get the players that he wants and needs to play his style of football, we will see the best of Erik ten Hag. And I think he has performed miracles in the 4th season. And what's happened is, unfortunately, because he has overachieved with this team, fans now's expectations went through the roof. But in reality, folks, we're still shit. And we just got a good manager that was able to get the best out of these players. And that's what I think a lot of people have forgotten. Right? He's worked miracles already. It's not his fault that he has to keep drumming it into the players' heads that they need to be consistent. But that's because if you look at the team, and you look at the players, they're different players from different managers. You're never going to get a cohesive, and you're never going to get a manager in like Erik ten Hag that's going to be able to change it overnight and instill his style of football. This was always going to take a few transfer windows, right? But unfortunately, as long as we're under the Glazers, this is going to take fucking 10, 15 years. We'll never get there. And by that time, Erik ten Hag will be gone. And we probably had 2 or 3 managers in place since then. And it'll be the same situation. Deadwood from other managers. Can't get rid of them. High contracts, high wages. And it's just absolutely the way it's been under these people. Anyway, we will be back soon. As I said, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the transfer window. Give it out of 10, what you think of it so far. Who do you think Manchester United should have signed as well? Let me know. Be very interested to see what fans think. Because I'm telling you now, I am definitely not happy with this transfer window. I think it's an absolute fucking shambles. But anyway, I'll be back a little bit later on. I'll put the stream up when I have me dinner cooked, because then I'll know exactly how long I have. But look out for the next stream on the channel. We will be back. We will be back another 2 more times today. We'll be back again, as I said, in about an hour and a half. So come and join me for that one. And then we'll be back then as the window is about to close, and we will talk about the final half hour and see what business we've actually completed and what's done. And then, of course, we will do my Premier League prediction on where I think United are going to finish and stuff after I've seen all the business that everybody has done. And before the transfer window, I actually thought United could challenge, as I said. And I said we'd get into the top 4 comfortably. But I can tell you now, if that's all we've brought in, that's all we're bringing in, that will definitely change. And I will tell you later on where I think we'll actually finish this season. But for now, I'll say enjoy your afternoon. I will see you soon, folks. Let's hope we've got some cheerful news before this window is closed, but I doubt it. But look, brace ourselves, because there's going to be a lot of negativity when this window closes, and rightly so. It's an absolute joke. But I'll see you soon, guys. We won't be too long. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and yeah, I mean, to be a Manchester United fan should come with a health warning now. But hang in there, folks. Hang in there. I know it's tough watching their club embarrass itself, right? I know it's heartbreaking watching the way these owners do business, but you know what? As we always do, we'll get behind the lads and we'll get behind the manager, because that's what we do. We're Manchester United fans. And, we will put on the front because we have to, and it's absolutely horrible, but that's what we do. And that's what we'll continue to do until these fuckers are gone. But until then, we've got to suffer a little bit more, unfortunately. But hopefully these lads can do what we've wanted them to do for a long time and get consistent and give us something to cheer about and give us something to be happy about. And that's all we want. Anyway, did I just see breaking news there? It could be old. Hold on. Oh, it's the software. It's the Amrabat stuff. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.